Today I would love to share with you my new favorite way to make a side dish. So for those of you who are tired of using anything that comes out of a box or a bag for a side dish for your meals and you want something that's more of a whole food and healthy, this is what you're going to want to cook. There are a lot of health benefits to cooking starches such as rice, pasta, and potatoes in the method I'm going to show you, and I'll share that with you at the end of the video. So this year I grew Kennebec potatoes, which are white and they have a very thin skin, and that's really the best potato, I think, for cooking in this way. You can also use russet, and I'll share with you how to cook those. You'll need to take one extra step because the skin is so thick on a russet. Now, the way I like to store my potatoes, just real quick for you gardeners out there, is I will put them in a single layer in a cardboard box and cover them with cardboard. Put them in my basement on a wire rack, and that's where it's about 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I do not wash them, and for this method I like to get as many potatoes as I can eat or cook for my family over the next 3 days. I don't want to get too many. And then for those of you who are not growing your own potatoes, I recommend just trying to find the white ones at the grocery store. So for all of my produce I bring in from the garden, I like to use a little nail brush to give them a quick scrub. That includes like corn and carrots and beets and all those good things. The nail brush is wonderful for that. So we're going to cook these potatoes. Don't chop them up or anything. Just cook them whole in the skin and give them a really good pinch of salt. Let those boil until they are nice and tender. And you don't want to parboil them. Make sure they're nice and tender, and the skin can even be falling off of these white potatoes. The russet, I probably wouldn't take them that far if you end up using russet because they can get a little mushy. Now dry your potatoes on some paper towels, and then once they're dry, transfer them to a plate where they can cool down. Once they're cool, if you have russets, go ahead and pull that skin off of them at this time, okay? And now your potatoes are cool. We're going to transfer them to the refrigerator to chill overnight. Don't put them in your refrigerator hot. Make sure you're cooling them down first. You don't want to ruin the food in your refrigerator by putting something real hot in there. So just cover them, and now you can cook these the next day or up to 3 days later. I like to cook them the next day. I think they turn out better that way. So the next day it's time to prepare the potatoes. I'm going to cook just one for you here, and I'm just going to smash it and crumble it up real well, skin and all, and I'll have all different size pieces here. I'm going to have some really tiny pieces which will go very crispy, and then some of the larger ones will be nice and fluffy in the middle. You'll notice if you use russet, it's going to be a little bit more mushy or mealy, so that's why I do recommend the white potato. I recommend using a non-stick skillet for this. I love the brand called Blue Diamond. This is not, they haven't paid me to mention their product or anything. I get them on Amazon, or I think Walmart also sells them. They're non-stick skillet with a metal handle. I like to sometimes transfer things to the oven, so having a metal handle is real handy for that, for like frittatas and that kind of thing. So I'm using just a couple of tablespoons of cooking oil here and testing my potato to make sure it's sizzling nice. And I'm on medium-high heat. Now I've used olive oil to cook potatoes this way, but because we're cooking them so fast, I noticed that the olive oil didn't start smoking or anything on me. So use the whatever oil you feel comfortable using. Remember, we're not going to walk away from this. We're cooking it very fast on medium-high heat. So definitely be aware that you can't just walk away. Make sure they're all getting in that oil nice. Put them in a single layer, and we want to let these cook like that for 3 to 5 minutes. Give them a really good pinch of salt, but don't turn them less than, I'd say, 3 to 5 minutes, because we want that one side to at least start getting crispy. Okay? So once they have gotten crispy on one side, you can kind of push them together and now season them up. You can use your fresh herbs from the garden like oregano, thyme, rosemary, and then sometimes I'll put a little pat of butter in here just to bring all those flavors together. I've used butter probably 1 out of every 4 times I cook potatoes this way. So definitely, if you want to keep it on the healthier side, don't use butter. It turns out fine either way. But you can make it your own. You can put a little lemon juice on here with those fresh herbs. You can put them in the oil, and let them sizzle. Everything. It's just, make it your own is what I'm saying. And you can eat these on your own, just by themselves. You can dress it up and make it unhealthy with ranch dressing and bacon bits. Do whatever you want to do. But remember, this is a healthy way to cook starches. By cooking them first, then chilling them, and then reheating them, what you're doing is you're taking that starch and creating what's called a resistant starch. And it's my understanding, and I learned this actually after cooking potatoes this way on my own, I learned that this was actually a healthy way to cook starches. So what you're doing is you're making a resistant starch. It's my understanding that resistant starches ferment in the large intestines instead of being digested by the small intestines. And that creates a prebiotic, which for those of you who are eating fermented food and you're really trying to watch your gut health, then you know that you need a prebiotic in order to get those probiotics working in your gut, okay? And then also my understanding is that it does not spike your glucose, so that's great for diabetics. Now the jury is still out on which potatoes may be good for that. They're saying in the article that I'm going to leave a link down below is that the yellow and the reds are better for resistant starches by cooking it in this method. But at any rate, if you're diabetic, that might be something you want to look into and experiment with the other types of potatoes and see how they do for you. So there you have it. And I hope you guys can try this recipe out soon. I hope you love it as much as we have been enjoying it. Thank you so much for watching, and y'all have a beautiful day.